Hi everyone! Welcome to the second episode of the Body Image season, where we dive into the importance of how we see ourselves. In a world filled with ideals of perfection, our relationship with our bodies can be complicated. But why does it matter so much? Well, it affects how we feel, think, and live. Throughout this season, we'll chat with experts and everyday people, exploring why body image is a big deal and how can we feel better about ourselves. Join us on this exciting journey of self-discovery and empowerment as we uncover the beauty in embracing who we truly are. My name is Negi Nazodi, and I am your host for this show. First, let's talk about what it actually is. Body image is a combination of thoughts and feelings that you have about your own body. These thoughts could be positive, but could be negative. And they are affected by many factors in your life, like your relationships with family and friends or romantic partners, your access to unrealistic images on social media, or social pressure to look a certain way, and many, many more. So how you feel about your body and what you think of it in turn affects your life and in most cases, your diet. Researchers say that children as young as 3 years old can develop body image issues. 3. That is so insanely young. And parents don't realize how crucial their role is in this. I'm a 90s kid, so I was one of the last generations to grow up without the modern technology. I remember when the first PlayStation was out and you had to write down your code so you could save your progress, or the DVDs, the giant fat TVs that gave you electrical shock every time you touched it, the fat computers that were technically useless, but you could download a few games on it. Life was more simple. I remember if you wanted to see celebrities, you would check the channels or buy the magazines to check them out. There was no Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, X, Twitter, and so on. No, you were limited, and yet still you could develop body image issues by only comparing yourself to other kids at school or gatherings, or at least in my days, Hannah Montana. And even with this limited access, I had body image issues. And I know for a fact that I wasn't the only one. But now it's even worse. Kids have all sorts of technology at such young age, and all these models and influencers are paving the way for them and setting examples of what is normal and what is not. With every scroll on TikTok, you see too many beautiful young girls dancing or lip syncing to songs, and their lips are not even moving. Or then you go on Instagram and everyone is happy, delusional, and fake. Then you go on YouTube, it's get ready with me to do this, get ready with me to do that, as they are putting like 50 pounds of makeup on themselves. I did the research and there are 64 million influencers out there. Do you even understand how crazy that is? A 5-year-old girl or boy is now exposed to all this and is brainwashed that he or she has to look like this, or otherwise they're not normal. They are the odd man out. Let's face it, yes, when you grow up, you realize how amazing it is to be the odd man out and to stand out from the crowd, to be the Diana in the middle of all the Kardashians. But you don't have that perspective when you're 9, 13, 16, 18. You're even lucky if you get it by 26. So a kid who is still trying to find him or herself, whose brain is not even developed yet, already knows how he or she needs to look like. So they will already have body image issues. With girls, of course, it starts with weight, nose, skin, boobs, which, by the way, The ones that grow it early already hate it. And the ones who don't feel insecure because they don't have it. And for guys, they have to look jacked, grow a beard, have a nice toned voice. Don't be too skinny because ew, but also don't be too fat. No one talks about the pressure for guys because we are always super focused on girls. But did you know that in the States, 13% of the boys aged 13 to 19 have reported that their body image worries them? The peer pressure is so high for teens that it forces them to do anything to blend in. And often this peer pressure evolves around their bodies. So if by now you're thinking, what is a negative body image? Let me tell you, it involves being overly focused on comparing your size, shape, or appearance to unrealistic ideals. And holding yourself to a thin ideal or an athletic ideal will cause you to develop unhealthy self-talk, low self-esteem, or disordered eating patterns. Let me give you an example from my life. I starved myself to be able to look like a girl in my school. And ironically, today, at this very moment, I don't even remember her name. Because she was popular, smart, tall, skinny, and to me, it looked like she had it all. And whenever I stood next to her, I felt fat and short. I was always doing sports like skiing, tennis, TRX, and synchronized swimming. So my body definitely wasn't fat, but too athletic in my eyes compared to hers. One day at lunchtime, she sat next to me and started slowly eating her salad as I was inhaling my burger. And she told me she thinks she's fat, so she has started a diet in which she starves herself until she's about to faint, and then she'll have a cheese or a cracker or something. Which ironically, by the way, as I grew up and watched The Devil Wears Prada, I realized it's the diet that Emily Blunt chose before the fashion show in Paris. Listening to her talking so negatively about her beautiful body was so shocking. She was so skinny and perfect in my eyes. And that whole conversation made me feel absolutely horrible about mine. So I decided to go on the same diet. Of course, now I know it was stupid of me to think so low of myself. But at that time, it took me around 3 months of not eating, losing 15 kilograms, becoming almost anorexic looking to realize that something needs to change. First step I took was that I went to a nutritionist for a healthy plan made for my body type. I started kickboxing, stopped negative self-talk, and definitely stayed away from her. But I managed to gain 10 kilos of muscles and got back in shape. Although my relationship with my body wasn't entirely fixed right away, it was definitely a major step into the right direction. But like everyone else, every time I was nervous, my wrong eating habits would come back. You see, some people are emotional eaters, and others lose their appetite when the stressor is around. The overeaters distract themselves by eating, and those who don't eat are too focused on their stress rather than hunger. In your nervous system, there are two systems named sympathetic and parasympathetic. The sympathetic nervous system is also called fight or flight, and it acts like a gas pedal in a car that fills up your body with fuel to get the energy to respond to danger. And at the same time, when stressed, your body produces cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and it can make you crave sugary, salty, and fatty foods, hence the fuel the brain needs to fight the stress. In the sympathetic activation state, eating disorders can come up through obsessive thoughts about food, food rituals, or the loss of appetite, or binge eating, or IBS-like symptoms, which, by the way, it's irritable bowel syndrome symptoms, or excessive exercise. These are all kind of like examples of flight response. But the fight response is more observed through purging, chewing, spitting, anger, anything that is like a self-harm behavior. And the parasympathetic nervous system, it's like the brake your car needs. It basically facilitates the recovery of your body after the acute stress is over. And at the same time, once there is food in your body, in your stomach, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. They also call it the rest and digest system. I eventually got better with all the sports, keeping up with the diet, and was able to maintain my weight. But with every stress trigger, I would go back to my no-eating diet, especially when I moved to Hungary and started my university. With every exam period, I would lose weight and then gain it back once it was over. Until I graduated, and as I mentioned in the first episode, I went through some trauma, and that was the end point. So I took a year gap after the university and worked a lot on myself and how I perceived my body, along with learning how to forgive myself for the mistakes that others made and anything I did in survival mode. And even though it took me almost a year, but I overcame all my insecurities and started loving every inch of my body. What helped me the most was that I stood in front of the mirror every day and I refused to leave until I would genuinely have something nice to say about a part of my body. And every day I would add to that list. So please, everyone, do yourself the favor and avoid negative self-talk. Your body doesn't know you're joking or not. It will believe whatever you feed it. So go on a fasting diet where you only talk positively about yourself, even about your flaws. They are the ones that give you color and make you look special. Trust me, I've been in photo shoot castings and none of them are looking for plastic looking people. They're looking for natural beauty, for special beauty that actually stands out. Another condition that really affected my self-esteem was me having acne and eczema in my teenage years. I would avoid social settings because of it until I started accepting it, stopped hiding it with all these harmful chemicals, and guess what? Magic happened. Once I stopped using all these makeup chemicals, all my acne went away. I haven't used them in ages, and I am not planning on ever using them again. Your skin absorbs everything you put on it. And especially at a young age, when your pores are super open, you're putting all sorts of layer to cover your skin up. Firstly, I have no idea what you're trying to cover, because some of you have smooth skin and you just do it because it makes you look like a Barbie. But I think the Barbie movie showed you that you are a Barbie without it. So girlies, please stop that. Have a morning and night skin routine and use your sunscreen even in winter and thank me later. And boys or Kens, please use moisturizer and sunblock. The idea that you are men and you think testosterone protects you from everything is bananas. The only thing attractive is when a person takes care of their well-being, their skin, body, mind, and soul, and realizes how special they are. That's when you truly start to shine. Because your body has helped you survive every event in your lifetime, good or bad. Your heart is still beating, and your breath keeps flowing in and out. You can take steps today to heal your body so that you can walk your own beautiful path in peace. And that's our biggest goal in this season. First, to help you realize you are not alone. And then give you secrets and tips on how to be yourself unapologetically and shine brighter than ever. Make sure to like and subscribe so you are informed about the next episode, and follow us on Instagram via License to Chill Podcast for many, many more surprises. Also, if you have any questions regarding body image, make sure to write it below, or you can always reach out to us via Instagram, and we will make sure to answer as fast as possible. Until next time, love yourselves and stay fabulous.